Most people are practicing Czerny wrong and they don't even realize it. If you simply open up some Czerny exercises and just dive right in and start playing, you are doing it wrong. And I want to make sure that that is not the case for you. Because if you're practicing Czerny wrong, it's a waste of time and it can actually be harmful to your piano technique. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to share with you 3 things you need to know before you practice Czerny. If you watch this whole video and you take into account these 3 points, you can make sure that you are not only making the most of your practice time when you practice Czerny, but that you're doing it correctly and you're maximizing the benefits. The first thing you need to know before you practice Czerny on the piano, Czerny will not inherently make your technique better. And this is a big one that I want you to pay attention to, because oftentimes in adult piano communities, I see people holding up Czerny as something that is going to give them speed or give them finger independence or help with their hand coordination or improve their technique. And it's simply not the case. If you just sit down and open up a Czerny exercise and dive right in, it's likely that you won't get very much out of the exercise and that your technique is not going to be any different than when you started practicing. You need to focus on having proper technique before you practice the technical exercises. And I'll explain more about why in the second point that I make, but it's really important that you're sitting at the proper height and that you're sitting at the proper distance and that your fingers are rounded and glued to the keys and that your wrists are not below the keys or above the keys. You want to remain flexible and loose, but always be coming back to this neutral wrist position. If you need more information on what proper piano technique is and you want to make sure that you've got it, you can check out this live stream that I did that was super comprehensive about piano technique. I'll link it in the description. And the best option for technique is really to get a professional's eyes on you. That's really the only way to ensure that you for sure have proper technique and that you're utilizing the various proper techniques required to get the different sounds out of the piano. It's a lot of what we do in the Casual to Confident Piano Player program. And at the time of filming this video, enrollment is closed, but you can join the waitlist using the link below. Second thing that you need to do before you practice Czerny on the piano is be aware of the technical purpose of the exercise. So I have this book here that's just like a Schirmer edition of a lot of the Czerny exercises. I think it has like 10 of the opuses in here. And if I were to flip to a random page in this book, I might see an example like this one, where the entire point is practicing scale technique, getting to the right position at the right time with the proper finger numbers. And so there is an element about that exercise that is about velocity or speed. But if my hands aren't in the proper position, or my wrist is too low, or I'm not sitting at the proper height or distance from the piano, practicing that exercise is actually going to probably worsen my technique and potentially lead to injury. But if I'm set up correctly, like I mentioned in point 1, and I can see or I can understand that the whole entire point of that technical exercises is to work on my scale technique so that when I see scale passages and pieces, it'll be easier for me to recognize and play them, I'm gonna get a lot more out of that exercise. Czerny covers a wide variety of technical demands, and it's important that you know what technique you're working on in the specific exercise and how to properly do that technique while you're practicing that exercise. Right, the third thing that you need to know in order to practice Czerny on the piano is that you have to make it musical. Czerny is not supposed to be boring. These technical exercises are actually little pieces of music. And any time that you are working on technique in your piano studies, I urge you to do so only with the goal of playing as musically as possible, right? Because that's really always the goal. It doesn't matter if you're working on notes or rhythm or technique. Really, the goal is to get your playing to the point that you can express yourself musically, right? And create that emotion and drama in the music. And so if you're opening up the technical exercises and you're playing through them, you're not actively engaging your brain and you're not working to make them sound good on the piano, it's pointless to practice them. Technical exercises should not sound boring. They should not sound robotic. They're like mini pieces of music that give you an opportunity to focus on specific technical challenges. I want you to comment below on this video and let me know if you're guilty of any of the common mistakes that I've mentioned in this video and what from this video you're excited to try out to make sure that you don't make those mistakes again. If you're not already in my free Facebook community, use the link in the description below to join that free group. And then I'm gonna link on the end screen that live stream where I go really deep into technique so you can make sure you have the proper technical setup before you jump into your Czerny exercises. Happy practicing.